Inventions, air and space. Levels, pre-intermediate up. We are used to seeing airplanes in our skies and hearing of unmanned probes heading into deep space. But the first airplane only took off just over 100 years ago. Fun in the air. Today's versions of some inventions have come a long way. Examples. The first recorded parachute jump was made by Louis-Sébastien Lenormand in France in 1783. Russian inventor Alexander Andreev sketched ideas for a jetpack as long ago as 1919. And hang gliding took off in the 1970s with the delta wing, but the first glider took off in the 1850s. Now listen to learn more about inventions that not only made air transportation possible, but also changed the world. The hot air balloon. The hot air balloon was invented by the Montgolfier brothers in France in 1783. And the first creatures to fly in a hot air balloon were a duck, a rooster, and a sheep. The balloon was made from paper and fabric, and it flew for 8 minutes. A replica of the world's first balloon, the Montgolfier, was built for a show in Poland. Airplane. An airplane called the Flyer made history when its pilot achieved the first controlled, powered flight in 1903. It rose to a height of about 10 feet, or 3 meters, and flew about 120 feet, or 37 meters. That's a little less than the length of a jumbo jet. The flight lasted 12 seconds. The Flyer had a wooden frame, and it was invented by Wilbur and Orville Wright in 1903 in the USA. Helicopter. Although previous helicopter designs had been tested, the first practical single-rotor helicopter was known as the VS-300. It became the first production helicopter. It was invented by Igor Sikorsky in 1940 in Russia and in the USA, and its first flight was a tethered flight, meaning it was attached to the ground with a cable. Now, space. Rocket. The first rockets were simple fireworks dependent on solid fuel. Liquid fuel was first used in the 1920s when Robert Goddard designed a rocket fueled by a mixture of gas and liquid oxygen. The rocket was invented by Robert Goddard in 1926 in the USA. The satellite. Many artificial satellites orbit Earth, transmitting data. The first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, was launched by the Soviet Union. It was the size of a large beach ball. The satellite was invented by a Soviet team led by Mikhail Tikhonravov in 1957 in the Soviet Union. Lunar Roving Vehicle, or LRV. Also known as the moon buggy, the first LRV was used on the moon in 1971 as a part of the Apollo 15 mission. It was the result of years of research and development in the 1960s by huge teams of people. However, the key design work is credited to a Filipino engineer, Eduardo San Juan. It was invented by NASA in 1971 in the USA. Space Shuttle. The Space Shuttle carried the world's first reusable spacecraft, the orbiter. The shuttle consisted of 3 main parts: a winged orbiter, 2 white booster rockets, and a huge fuel tank. Equipment was carried into space in a large payload bay. The Space Shuttle was invented by NASA in 1981 in the USA. Manned Maneuvering Unit, or MMU. This handy suit, known as an MMU, allowed astronauts to go on spacewalks without having to be tethered to their spacecraft. The suits were last used in 1984. The suits were invented by Martin Marietta Corporation in 1978 in the USA. Mars Exploration Rover. 2 rovers, Spirit and Opportunity, landed on Mars in 2004 and set off to explore a tiny part of the planet's surface. Opportunity continues to send back data, but Spirit stopped transmitting in 2011. It was invented by NASA in 2003 in the USA. We must bear in mind that space exploration, although very fascinating, is extremely costly. Did you know that NASA's fiscal year budget was $21.6 billion in 2019? With a budget that high, imagine the advances in technology the agency is able to achieve. Our everyday use of technology like cell phones may already seem advanced to you, but this is nothing compared to the intricacies of space technology. In addition to Spirit and Opportunity, the two successful Mars rovers, the Hubble Space Telescope, the Kepler Space Telescope, and the International Space Station are also seen as some of the most innovative advances in space technology. Google them to learn more about these amazing inventions.